Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today I want to talk a bit about RTS games. Now, you're probably thinking, real-time strategy. You know, I think people know that I'm into that. What I want to talk about is kind of like the future of RTS, and I've pulled out 4 games that I myself am looking forward to coming out in the near future, either next year or the year after, because I have been playing a lot of real-time strategy games recently. I do play a bit of StarCraft 2 in my spare time. It's one of the few games that I still play that's by Activision Blizzard. That's for another story. Recently played a bit of Supreme Commander 2, a bit of Red Alert 3, Emperor Battle for June. Yeah, I like my RTS games, and so yeah, I want to talk about these 4 games that are coming out and why I'm excited for each one. So we're going to start by talking about a game called D.O.R.F, which is it's like all capitals D.O.R.F and real-time strategic conflict. In front of me, I have like the Steam pages. You'll have some footage of something on screen, probably Red Alert 3. But let me just talk about it. So what is D.O.R.F? Now, D.O.R.F in visuals-wise looks like, kind of gives you Red Alert 2 vibes. That kind of angle, that kind of art style. This game seems quite silly, but is very much like, I think, Tiberian Sun / Red Alert 2. I think that's kind of what they're going for. But let's see what the Steam page says about it. So you take command of one of 3 unique factions and conquer your enemies in a twisted version of the future. Construct sprawling bases, scout the land for resources to mine and refine, and assemble powerful armies of land, sea, and air units to smash your adversaries with. Already sounds great. Construct infrastructure. Build massive bases of factories, refineries, and defensive structures to advance your economy. Secure your position. Structures can be rotated to different facings. Now, let me tell you, like the pictures for structures, like the actual structures in the game, look bloody massive, which is kind of cool. Everything just looks super big in this game, so it's kind of fun. Like people versus tanks, the scales are nuts. Spoils of war, pump oil from deposits, a mine for ore, and gather scrap left over from the battlefield to help further your economy and create efficient supply lines, logistics networks to ensure that raw material is made war material to deliver to your factories. So air, land, and sea. Construct and powerful armies of unique sci-fi units, from enormous Zeppelin bombers, that's straight out of Red Alert, to powerful multi-turret tanks, psychic warriors, and clanky artillery mecha. Calling devastating airstrikes, create trench networks for infantry defense, and establish transport routes to get your units from the factories to the front line as quickly as possible. This, I honestly, like looking at the GIFs that are on the Steam page, it looks nuts. They were like, no expense spared. You've got massive like battleships with tons of like rockets and cannons. You've got Zeppelins that are just bombers. You've got this massive tank with like 4 or 5 guns on it. So it looks kind of cool. And you've got storm enemy base. Use your infantry to storm enemy held positions and base structures to engage with brutal close quarters combat on the inside. Capture enemy factories to gain access to their technologies and mix and match their strengths with your own. This, honestly, this game looks, from the trailers that are on Steam and the things that are here, this is very much that classic Command and Conquer style, which is awesome. Like this, it looks, you know, I hope the game ends up this game looks awesome. I hope it ends up playing just as awesome. But yeah, that's D.O.R.F, and they don't have a release date for it yet. I just said to be announced. I have a feeling this game might still be a ways off, maybe sometime next year. But I will say I'm liking the art style. It's giving me very like early 2000 vibes, so I kind of like what they're doing there. Moving on, then we have Tempest Rising. Now, at the time of this game being on Steam, there is actually a demo. I have yet to play the demo. I would probably do that very soon because I'd like to try it out. But this game looks very much like Command & Conquer 3. It seems to have that vibe about it. It's very much, and to be fair, this game is pretty much Command & Conquer in the sense that it's called Tempest Rising. You have like the Global Defense Force, I think they're called, and then the Tempest Dynasty, which is essentially Nod and GDI, so which is kind of cool. And at the time of recording, they've only just recently announced that Frank Klepacki is coming to do the music, or be one of the composers, which is awesome because that guy does such a great job with these RTS games. So what's Steam got to say about it? Classic RTS action meets modern production and performance in Tempest Rising, inspired by RTS greats of the 90s and 2000s. Doesn't want to actually say which games. Tempest Rising is a classic base-building real-time strategy game set in the modern-day alternative history war scenario. This and D.O.R.F sound very similar. It features 3 unique factions, each with its own approach to combat and economy, and offering a variety of strategies for players of all stripes. Maps with neutral structures to contest and neutral populations to contend with. Deep and rewarding gameplay that keeps focus on strategy, while rewarding skill and built-in customization options that allow players to approach the game in the way for both single-player and multiplayer game modes. I should also point out that D.O.R.F is multiplayer as well, and so is Tempest Rising. It says, take on the role of commander in the highly mobile and advanced peacekeeping corps of the Global Defense Forces rather than the Global Defense Initiative. So that's very on the nose. Or the hard-hitting and desperate Tempest Dynasty in 2 15-mission campaigns that allow the player to customize their army for each mission. Oh, that sounds fun. As both armies seek to understand and control the mysterious but beneficial Tempest divines that grow unchecked across the war-torn planet Earth, other dangers wait in the shadows as the origin of Tempest is revealed. So, it seems like D.O.R.F is much more Red Alert, and Tempest Rising is much more like Command & Conquer, Tiberian Sun, all that sort of stuff, in terms of the 2 different stories, which I am all for because I love both. It says features: classic RTS base building with fast and fluid hiding combat, 3 asymmetrical playable factions, each featuring distinct economy and playstyles. So they haven't revealed them then. So it'll be like the Skrin. Maybe not the Skrin specifically, but the fact that they were a 3rd faction. Each faction offers a unique roster of units, 2 epic single-player campaigns with between-mission cutscenes, skirmish, custom game, ranked multiplayer. So yeah, this is all great. So far, like, this is what I'm really excited about, is that we're getting games, because EA clearly doesn't want to make like a traditional Command & Conquer, doesn't want to make a Red Alert. I would love it if they went back and just did remasters like they did with the first 2 games. Do that for Tiberian Sun, do that for Red Alert 2. That would be great, because you're clearly not going to make a new game. So, but Tempest Rising, I've watched a few videos on it and seen a few things, and it does look good. People seem to be having a good time with it, so that's really good. So both these games, super exciting to me. It says they both say coming soon or to be announced. I think these games will likely be sometime next year, maybe like September, like in a year from now. I could be wrong, but right. Next up, we have Stormgate, which is probably the one you've heard about the most. Stormgate is that big game that was which keeps showing off like different things about this game. Now, I am a little bit skeptical about Stormgate because it's like a mixture of like there's a human faction and a demons faction, stuff like that. I'm still looking forward to it. I think it'll be very interesting to play Stormgate, basically because I think it's a free-to-play game, which is good. Looking at this. Yeah, in-app purchase is interesting. But let's read what Steam says. We'll go over that. So Stormgate is a new real-time strategy game from the team at Frost Giant Studios, including former developers of Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2. Which is good. Those 2 games are very good. Explore an ever-evolving story through thrilling campaign missions where science fiction and fantasy collide, solo or cooperatively. So, if this game has a full co-op campaign, the last RTS game I played that had one that was truly co-op was Red Alert 3. So that'd be awesome. Battle opponents around the world on our competitive 1v1 ladder. Team up with your friends to challenge the AI in co-op modes. Get your hands dirty in the editor to build the game of your dreams. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Sounds like StarCraft 2. Developed in Unreal Engine 5, Stormgate will support high-resolution HD visuals in 4K and hundreds of epic units. Large-scale wars across a variety of maps and tile sets. The user interface is designed to make RTS more approachable by streamlining inputs, automatically assigning units to control groups, and enhancing gameplay. We've lowered the skill floor while keeping the ceiling as high as we want to climb. Stormgate is RTS for everyone. Okay, so that's an interesting thing. Automatically assigning things to control groups. Okay. I'd have to see how that plays out. I hope you can turn that on or off. So, epic story missions. Earth didn't stand a chance. Our story begins hundreds of years in the future after alien invaders, hell-bent on claiming this planet as their own, poured out of the storm gates and brought an end to the world as we knew it. Yet humanity survived. As the demonic infernal host returns to unleash havoc once again, Earth's defenders must gather their courage, climb into their mechs to save the world. It's up to you to pick a side, harvest resources, build your base, command mighty armies to decide the outcome. So, sounds pretty nuts already. So this is apparently the first truly social RTS. So whatever your favourite game mode, you can still play Stormgate with friends. Campaign missions can be played cooperatively. That's the biggest reason to play this. Stormgate's open-ended co-op mode supports 3 players, and even a 1v1 competitive mode can make social connections through the built-in tournament system. Sounds good. The next gen of RTS competition, Stormgate carries forward the RTS genre's storied legacy of world-class esports. Enjoy advanced matchmaking for players of all skill levels, featuring a cooperative 1v1 ladder where your abilities will be put to the test against similarly skilled opponents around the world. Playing RTS games 1v1 online is always nerve-wracking. When it comes to competition, we've got you covered. Set up your own tournaments, participate in grassroots events, or qualify for professional esports matches, all from directly within the game. Free to play and never pay to win, so this will be interesting. Stormgate is free to play so that everyone can enjoy the fun of RTS. Support the development of the additional optional content that you enjoy without ever paying to remove nuances or gain an advantage. So what this is basically saying is that, hey, you know, we're going to make it free to play. We're going to let you play like this campaign and sort of stuff, but they're probably never going to charge for. It'll be like different skins for the units. Probably like if they release extra campaigns down the line. Probably like UI designs, things like that, stuff that's like they'll probably have stuff you can unlock in game, but they're probably like, hey, you know, here's some things, if you want to support us, this is the thing you can. And then lastly, unleash your creativity in the editor. Craft your own custom missions and minigames in our powerful and user-friendly editor. Draw terrain, create scripts, modify units, publish your map for the community to play, gather data about your content to take your creations to the next level, make something fun, share it with the world, and you will be rewarded for your efforts and creativity. So basically everything. Wow, this game requires 16 gig of RAM. Jesus. So as far as I'm concerned, this all sounds good. I do need to see more of this game anyway, but I am excited for this game because it is free to play, so there's no reason why I can't jump in and play it. And I'm sure me and Jack will definitely be doing a co-op campaign on that. That'll be kind of fun. And lastly, the last thing we got to talk about here is ZeroSpace. So ZeroSpace, before I get into it, has actually got some members of like the StarCraft 2 and StarCraft 1 community helping on it, which is really cool. But let's talk about ZeroSpace, because this game looks like StarCraft 2. To be perfectly honest, it looks very much like StarCraft 2, and I'm okay with it. I don't mind these games like taking good ideas from different ones. But ZeroSpace is a cinematic RTS with an epic sci-fi story where your decisions determine the fate of the galaxy. Devise your unique strategy through your choice of factions, mercenary units and heroes. Execute clutch commands in the heat of battle to outplay your enemy. Enjoy unparalleled strategic options combined with thrilling moment-to-moment gameplay, either playing solo or with and against your friends in multiplayer modes. Let me just check something. Does this one have a date? Just says coming soon as well. Yeah, no, that's fine. This one's got a ton of like LAN options and things as well. Okay. Experience a unique blend of real-time strategy and role-playing game elements in ZeroSpace, a groundbreaking title that transports you to a vast, diverse universe teeming with adventure and intrigue. Choose from an array of factions, heroes, and mercenary groups as you guide your civilization through monumental decisions, strategic battles, and gripping narrative. Forge alliances, uncover ancient secrets, and shape the course of the cosmos. So, what's in the game? There is a lot on this page, by the way. So let's get to it. Story where you write the ending. We've created a single player campaign with your choices at the center. Rather than static cutscenes between each mission, you'll make choices that change the universe just like you would in your favorite narrative RPGs like Mass Effect. Ooh, specifically calling out Mass Effect. Okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good. Unparalleled strategic depth. Construct a crushing strategy by combining factions, mercenaries, and heroes, making each match different and unlocking more opportunities for dynamic counterplay. Where any other RTS offers 1,600 play combinations at best, we offer 100 times more. Wow, that is a bold statement. Sounds good, you know, whether it is or not. Micro about the APM. Traditionally high-leveled RTS play winds up being more about your fingers than your brain. Thanks to clever and intuitive interface designs, we've created hardcore RTS without keyboard-breaking APM, which I think is really important. It's about making that skill floor more accessible while still having the strategic elements there for the skill ceiling. And then powered by pros, we set out to make the game the RTS community deserves, and for over 2 years we've been working hand in hand with some of the most insightful pros, commentators, and creators in the community, several of whom have joined the development team. Yeah, people from the StarCraft one. So, ZeroSpace in a nutshell. open world campaign with 13 main story missions, 12 hero loyalty missions, and 40 side story arcs, which is kind of nuts. That's a lot of side stories compared to main missions. 3 hours of cinematic cutscenes and interactive dialogues with player choice matters. 4 main factions with 10 units and 9 buildings each. 6 mercenary factions with 4 to 5 units each, so that sounds kind of interesting. 12 heroes from various factions in the campaign mode, or select one to lead your multiplayer games. 1v1 and 3v3 ranked versus matches. Oh, we've got ranked 3v3. Or play against AI. A truly unique cooperative multiplayer mode that includes a shared persistent galaxy for an entirely new, massively multiplayer experience. Cooperative missions is a mode where 3 players fight against the AI in campaign-like missions. This open-end mode is inspired by the successful replay we found in StarCraft 2 co-op. So yeah, a lot more of these games, or a lot of these like ones that have the funding to do so, they are going to be putting co-op stuff in, because that's kind of how it does well. And lastly, we've got the campaign. So dive into a world teeming with mystery and danger, traverse diverse planets aboard your upgradable mothership, guided by a choice-driven RPG system. Face moral quandaries: do you save a once hostile planet, or leave it to perish against formidable forces? As you journey, enhance your vessel, recruit heroes, and navigate complex relationships. Will some allies admire or despise you? Or are you ready to lead mankind? Command a diverse crew, each hailing from unique cultures. Engage them as mission companions, converse to uncover their histories, and embark on loyalty quests tailored to their personalities. Every hero crew member brings a distinct playstyle aligned with their character, enriching your tactical options. There you go. Also, a game that I'm very much interested in. All 4 of these games that I have talked about, so D.O.R.F, Tempest Rising, Stormgate, and ZeroSpace, I am looking forward to. Like, I am actually excited to be very much into RTS, because the most recent RTS that I really liked was Crossfire Legion. Say what you will about that game, I liked the fact it had a mixture of Command & Conquer and StarCraft elements. I very much enjoyed it. The campaign was fun. It was a good game. And, yeah, it wasn't perfect, but it had some cool concepts, and I really enjoyed that. And now we've got these games to look forward to. And honestly, I think out of the 4 of them, I think Tempest Rising is the one I'm most interested in, just because it's very much like Command & Conquer 3, which is a hell of a good game. And then the other 3 kind of all on the same level. D.O.R.F just looks like classic RTS. ZeroSpace and Stormgate are much more like modern in terms of like they're looking at like StarCraft 2 and things like that, whereas Tempest Rising seems to be very much Command & Conquer 3 area, which I like. So for someone who likes sci-fi RTS, like I'm eating well. I'm very, very happy with all these games, and I just wanted to put a bit of light on them. I know anyone here could go and just read all this stuff themselves on the Steam page, but I just wanted to highlight some of them, especially D.O.R.F, because I think that out of the 4, that'll be the one that gets missed, because I think Tempest Rising's obviously got a lot of pedigree, and it's got a demo out right now. Stormgate people have known about for a while, and ZeroSpace, if you're into like your esports and stuff, and you know about some of the StarCraft personalities in this, then you're likely going to already know about it. But hopefully this is useful to someone. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. As always, if you like the video, hit like. If you want to see more content like this, then hit subscribe. Links for Facebook and Twitter will be down below in the description as always. And until next video, I will see you then.